Hello, welcome to this channel of the Better Eurofan, that's me. For today's episode I'm going to review the Romanian entry for Eurovision 2022, which has been represented by singer Urs with the song Llámame, which in English translates as Call Me, after the dramatic performance of Roxanne in last year's contest, in which the failures of her proposal costed her qualification. Romania moves forward with its participation, intending to get over the losing streak they have been having in these last editions. Let's take a look to the artist who had the task to carry the Romanian colors on the main stage of touring. Andrei Ionut Ursu, mostly well known as Urs, is a Romanian singer, songwriter and dancer. Before starting a musical career, he previously worked as a dancer for many artists of the Romanian musical scene, and also has been part of the dance group in some local television shows. In 2015, he starts his musical career as part of the boy band Shot, leaving the band 2 years later, then moving to London and start working in his own musical compositions. Back in his home country in the Romanian capital, he made his solo debut in 2020, releasing singles mostly in English, featuring frequently with Spanish and at least one track in Romanian, achieving a modest success in the musical charts of the country. You must wonder in this case how is that he becomes to be the Romanian representative of the contest. Now let's see how his Eurovision experience begins. The Romanian public broadcaster went on to organize the 20th edition of their national final Selecția Națională, which will consist in 2 semi-finals with 45 contestants competing for 10 spots in the final show. For this, a submission period for Romanian artists and songwriters to send their proposals between November and December of last year. An expert panel will have the mission of reviewing the received proposals, which were 94 this time, to select from them the 45 artists that will participate in the national final. These were announced in late last December, being Urs among the selected artists. In the first semi-final, the 45 contestants competed for 20 spots in the second semi-final, where 15 of them were selected by a jury, and the remaining 5 were selected by the audience using an online voting. Then in the second semi-final, the jury will select 10 finalists that will compete in the final show. Urs in this case will progress without difficulties in both semi-finals, gaining a spot among the finalists. During the final show, broadcasted in early last March, the winner will be chosen with a combination of the votes of the jury and the public, unlike the semi-finals where the jury had more weight in the decision. The final results revealed that Urs was the absolute favorite of the jury, while he was the second most voted artist from the public, earning the score enough to get the victory in the national final, thus the rider representing Romania on touring. It's a call to get out of your scene and dance after looking his proposal. Now here comes the analysis according to what he has presented in his official music video. Melodically speaking, it's an electropop track, with some salsa that is appreciated in the bridge, while the vocal skills of Urs are pretty good, even when he's dancing, which is really outstanding in his case. Reading the lyrics, reading in English and Spanish and described as an LGBTI anthem, it has a very personal context to him. It talks about that forbidden love that is not approved for the people around him, but still keen to pursue things and ready to deal with the consequences implied. Urs discusses about how meaningful is this song for him. I grew up in a small town in Romania, and that made it so hard to show my true self. I have been doing uncommon things for a regular guy, and the society wanted me to behave, to stay in the standards. This is why this song is a call to my inner self, to stay true to myself despite what society says. Many of us can feel plenty identified with him, as it's a situation that is still happening nowadays. The message is quite clear. We all have the freedom of being who we are and express ourselves in our own way, no matter our gender or sexual preference, and nothing and no one has the right to take it away. There has been some progress in the society with the tolerance and acceptance of the LGBTI people indeed, but there is still too much work to do in this matter. Analyzing the official music video, the plot developed is simple. At first you can see Urs walking towards 3 mirrors in a room with tenuous lights, almost in dark, while he performs the first verse. As it progresses, there are shots seen on him dancing in front of the 3 mirrors, first with a regular male outfit and later with a sexy and revealing outfit. I can describe this as those moments in which which he used to hide his true self, covering it with the way he looks, and in the other hand showing his true self without any shame or regrets. And the mirrors are representing the society and the outer world. In the chorus you can see him dancing with two female dancers in a sort of stage, doing a choreography which takes many elements from flamenco. In the second verse the scene changes and Urs is looking like a cleaning worker at a restaurant, still doing the performance while he uses a broom like a microphone would stand. It's funny because for sure many of us have been done a similar thing when we are singing our favorite song at home, using a broom, a brush or a deodorant, like we are in a stage in front of a lot of people. These shots are alternated in the second chorus, which shots of him and the female dancers on the real stage. In the salsa bridge, there are some moments where the female dancers are doing salsa casino steps with two male dancers, briefly seen for just a few seconds. The same dynamic continues throughout the remaining of the performance, and just at the end of the performance, when he has finished singing and dancing, he continues sweeping the floor at the restaurant. Making a summary of the comments, the Romanian entry for this year is really danceable, although it's mostly described as an activist song for the LGBTI people. It can be extrapolated to anyone because in the end, the freedom of being ourselves is priceless. Recalling the staging in the national final, the performance was focused on him, with the same dancers that appear later in the music video, using very sexy outfits, and doing an intense and energetic choreography from beginning to end. This is not strange due to his previous experience as a dancer, and he wanted to take advantage of it, with the goal of this being the main focus during the performance. The spotlights were worn like in the music video, and the visual graphics were brilliant sparkles, with the lyrics of the chorus appearing on the screen. This was a very well done performance in this case, so I thought it was a pretty solid proposal, having many chances of achieving a good position on Italian soil. In addition, I had the opportunity of watching him live performing his song at the Barcelona Eurovision party. Here is an exclusive snippet of his performance. The performance was not bad, but I felt it lacked that same energy seen from the national final. First because he did not bring his dancers with him, being just himself on stage, and he looked not that excited, despite that all the people in the crowd were singing the chorus at unison. In fact, this chorus and the influence on flamenco in the dance had made this song quite popular in Spain. Finally, the spotlights and the visual graphics remained the same. For the staging in Turin, it was clear that he would follow the same trend previously seen in both the national finals and the Eurovision pre-parties. The only changes seen during the rehearsals were focused on the outfits of Urs and his dancers and the visual graphics. The male dancers will be wearing black slim pants and crop tops in burgundy. The female dancers will be wearing bodysuits with holes also in burgundy, and Urs will be wearing a black sling outfit and a red blouse with frills. In the other hand, the visual graphics had to be adapted because of the static kinetic sun, in which red flowers were added in some moments of the performance. Beyond this, the rest remained the same. Watching his live performance in the second semi-final, two more details were seen. After the first chorus, both Urs and his dancers had a slight different version of the choreography using red handkerchiefs, and later during the instant where the bridge preceded the final chorus. The dancers tear off the red blouse from Urs, discovering the rest of the black outfit, which had a brilliant and sparkling patterns on all its torso. This performance was that flawless that it was evident he will not face difficulties to qualify to the final, and so it was indeed. Later in the grand final, during the counting of the votes, it was seen that the televote was more generous compared to the juries, although he finally ranked in the 18th place. Romania went on to have a spot among the finalists once again after the several flux in recent years. Urs, on the other hand, has been quite active after his Eurovision experience. With the promotional tour of his first EP, he has released new singles, including one with a fellow Cypriot contestant of this edition, Llámame, and he also has been participating in several musical festivals and television shows, especially in Spain, where he has become quite famous and have received much love from the Spanish audience. And he even plans to stay a long season in the Iberian country. And you, what do you think about the Romanian entry for this year? Come on and leave your comments down below because the discussion is going to be interesting for sure. And this is it for today's episode. If you have watched until this point, take a few seconds to like this video, subscribe to my channel and enable notifications. Find me and follow me in my social media as well. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.